This week in the Premier League, I watched some fascinating games, but by far, the game that drew the most for me was Leicester vs Man City. I know other games were there, might have been great, but I'm not really a supporter of Man City. However, this game for me overall was the best in terms of play. So, Leicester vs Man City was a game where two sides were coming with two different tactics. Leicester was trying to play the counter attack, whereas Man City was trying to be possession based, as they normally are. All right. So Man City had 60-70% possession, and Leicester had the remaining. In that game, Leicester created a lot more chances actually attacking in terms of taking shots at goals than Man City. However, Man City, because they were so used to keeping the ball, it made Leicester have to rely on a few chances. So, in regards to that, I just believe that in that game, if Leicester had stuck to their wits, brought in the right necessary tools up front, Vardy did play good, but when they brought in Inacho and Daka, it added an element of let's be fast, let's be more creative, let's go at the opponent a little bit more than what the team was offering beforehand. Barnes was trying to do that. However, it was one man against the whole Man City defense line, and he just kept on running either out or running to a point where he's near the corner, and it's no use. In Man City's attack, De Bruyne was having the ball a lot. He was trying to cross the ball in. In this game, unfortunately, Haaland was not present. Foden was not present. So, when they crossed the ball in, they used the new striker, Alvarez, who's had minimal games because of the form of Haaland, but has proven a bit more better in those other games than he did in this instance. I believe that Alvarez will need to really fight for his spot. Uh, he will really need to be more of a have a killer approach in front of goals because he's up for no minutes this season if he doesn't do that. It's that demanding of his role. Had Foden played, it might have been much better for Man City. On the left side, they had Grealish playing that position. While Grealish was the reason Man City won that game because of the free kick he ended up, you know, getting them in the second half, and which De Bruyne obviously finished with a perfect free kick. His entire play before had not been good enough for the price tag of a 100 million player and for him getting into spots. He was lurking more outside of the box. He wasn't really making any movements to do 1-2s that pushed him into the box. So he wasn't making crosses. And because of this, it kind of felt like he was just using a space outside of the box that Cancelo normally, permits himself more better in that space. And because of how Grealish plays and how he keeps the ball for a little bit longer than slower than the Man City pace, it just wasted. When they do the switches from one side to the other and it gets to Grealish, he kind of just wastes a little bit more time than necessary on there. On the other side, Bernardo Silva was getting chances. However, his accuracy was very out of whack this time. And if he did put it a good shot in, it went to the straight to the keeper. So the forwards in that match for Man City really let them down. Really let them down. Because 1-0 win to Leicester, who not recently before were just in the bottom five. Man City is expected to really get more from this game than just 1-0. But that gives credit to Leicester, because what did Leicester have to do? Leicester marked space, right? Didn't push themselves too forward, because if they push themselves too forward, they'll feel maybe that they're leaving space behind. So they did that a lot, held themselves at the top of their box, not trying to enter into their box as much, but held themselves. And then if there was a turnover, a counter attack, were able to release to the wings and let their players go up and then eventually move up the field. They, on the other hand, just had a struggle for shots. Like their shots accuracy there, if they had better shot accuracy, and if certain players chose the right passes at the right time, it could have been totally different. There was one counter attack, Tillersman, in the first half, Tillersman does a pass straight through the middle, passing the halfway line. It gets to, I believe, Vardy. And Vardy decides to go up, right? He turns up. He turns to his left side more. Rather than if he was to look more down to his right side, there was actually a free player there. And that free player could have easily scored because that free player was just about to enter the box. That could have been an open goal right there earlier. But that's the kind of decision is that, it takes time. It takes, the chemistry. The chemistry was not there for Leicester up front. And hopefully Leicester can bounce back from it because they're the only team in the Premier League that has not made any significant signings. And they're not showing us a reason why they should have not. They should have made some signings. They should have proven themselves a little bit more. Because a team like Leicester cannot be getting out, in terms of chances of shooting at goals. Rodrigo in Man City, the midfielder, he was taking a lot more shots than even the forwards in Leicester. So he had about 4 or 5 chances. So that says a lot for what is happening. But I like the game because I've seen other games recently. I saw the Newcastle, I saw the Brighton vs Chelsea, Man United, West Ham, Arsenal decimating Nottingham Forest. Seen games, Crystal Palace. I've seen a few games, and I'd say this game was actually the best game this week. That's with all respect, because I know the other sides did, but it was a better attack, I'd say, from this side. These two teams had a better match than the other teams. So yeah, I don't want to drag this on, carry on. Just want to say, best game of the Premier League today. Man City second on the table. Arsenal just topped the table because they beat Nottingham Forest 5-0. The race is still on. The race is still on. And believe it could go either way. Either way. Because Arsenal's upcoming game is against Chelsea. And Man City's upcoming game, I do not know the team, but I pray for them. Because if they come with a more rounded, so Foden would probably start more instead of coming in as a sub. And Haaland will be back. Them balls that Man City were flying over, no one was trying to catch. That's definitely in next time when they bring in Haaland. So that's going to look a little bit more scarier than it did. And when Alvarez gets adjusted to it, it's going to be something. So yeah, just want to say, take it easy. Best game of the Premier League this week. Peace.